Hello and welcome! This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. So we just completed another mission on Eden, and there's one more mission to choose from. And I do want to check really quickly in the mech lab. So we have a couple crippled mechs. These are going to be the mechs that we salvage. Repair costs are going to be pretty high. I'm going to go ahead with though, because they are going to be mechs we're going to want to use. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use them for the next mission. So we just did okay. And then I think I do want to take a look at this Chimera, because we're going to want to use it, but I just don't think that the weapons loadout that we have currently makes sense. So I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think what we can do armament-wise to make it a little bit more effective. We could give it an autocannon, but that would eat up so much of its tonnage that it wouldn't really have much left over for any other kind of weapon. We could give it maybe some good in close punch with medium pulse lasers, perhaps. That would take up 6 tons. Maybe be more valuable than a PPC. I mean, what is the difference? PPC, this does 1.1 and has a recycle time of 0.5, whereas a PPC obviously does more damage. But if you think about it, the medium laser would get, I'm trying to think, what, 12 attacks? Yeah, so it would in theory do more damage if every attack was hitting. This does 1.1. It would get 12 attacks in the same amount of time the PPC would get 1. Now, obviously, it's nowhere near as long ranged, but I think it's more effective, maybe. On the other hand, that didn't really help firepower out that much. I don't know. I'm just really torn on what the right armament for this mech is. It's one of those mechs that's kind of hard to really give good armament just because of the nature of the way that its weapon systems are laid out. But yeah, I don't know if there's really anything I can do about its setup. I think what I am going to do is just... So that was 6 tons, whereas this is 3.5. So in theory, we do get a better tonnage with an LRM-20 versus an LRM-10, it looks like. Okay, well, one thing I could do is go into the free market and maybe buy a clan PPC that would be more effective. But I think for now, I'm not a big fan of the Chimera as a weapons platform. I'm going to give it 1 ton of ammo, which gives it more shots with its LRM-20. And I guess that's just going to be the way it is. I could bring down its armor and give it more allotment for weaponry, but I just a mech that I'm not really that big of a fan of, just with the way its weapons loadout is set up. A light or a medium mech to have such a big ballistic slot is really not all that helpful. You could fill it full of machine guns, which are fairly light, but if you think about it, with how much a machine gun weighs, that's the same weight as a medium pulse laser, which is not good. But I guess, keep it the way it has been. And I don't know if I had the Clan LRM-20 in there or not, so we might have slightly upgraded its firepower. We're not going to advance time, even though we might benefit from that. And we're just going to go on to the next mission. I'm going to need 2 full lances, though, so that means I will have to buy more pilots. We'll do that.
Liaison indicates the campaign against the Loyalists is nearing completion. Only a few holdout bases remain in several remote wilderness areas. The Separatists are contracting for several coordinated night strikes to wipe them out.
Okay, so as a matter of fact, it looks like I'm going to probably need those Ullers, aren't I? Because we're going to need to fill out our secondary lance. All right, well, let's go ahead and go to the mech lab, because we're going to have to change some things around. And then I am going to go over to the free market and buy a couple pilots here. So starting things off, we could buy cheap pilots and go from there, or we could buy more expensive pilots. They also have a weekly salary that I have to concern myself with, and some of that goes along with how good of a pilot they are. We don't really need another Lance Commander unless, of course, Hannibal dies, so I think just focusing on the non-Lance Commanders is a good move. This Claymore guy looks like he's pretty good. As a matter of fact, let's go through and figure out who is the most expensive of all the pilots, and are they worth it? So, coming through, ignoring the commanders, it looks like Bullseye and Gator are the two best pilots. Bullseye, quite clearly, very good gunnery skill. I think I am going to pick him up. And then, outside of that, I think I'm just going to pick up another cheap pilot. So, Goof or Goblin. I think I'm going to not pick up the cheapest of all pilots, though. I think I'm going to pick up, if Angel's a good price. Let's see. Goof. I mean, Goof has good accuracy comparatively. And then Goblin. Goblin has even better. As a matter of fact, Goblin looks like he is better than Goof. If not the blind fighting being kind of an issue. I'm not exactly sure why Angel is more expensive, because she doesn't seem like she's that much better. Slightly better in piloting, but outside of that, it doesn't seem like she's that much better. So it looks like Goof is actually a good price, all things considered. So we're going to hire these two mech warriors and close out. And then I know I'm going to need to set up mechs and stuff. So we'll do that in a second. First, I'm going to figure out where my pilots are going to go and everything. So we just hired Bullseye. Bullseye's pretty darn good. I figure, why don't we have him in the back with our support Chimera here, where we could maybe get best advantage out of what firepower it has. So I think I am going to put Bullseye in my lance here. Alternatively, we could give, you know what? Let's give Bullseye the Hellhound, and then give Shredder the Chimera. Okay, now let's get this lance all set up. So we've got Scooter, and we have Goof. Okay, so I think that's probably good as far as placement. I'm going to want the Owens in the back, and it looks like Scooter may marginally be the best shot, but I'm going to give Goof, I think, the Owens. And then I'm going to have to set this up, but I think the Cougar is going to go to the other Cougar, is going to go here. And then we have what we have left, more or less, which is an Uller. So now we're going to have to go in and set up the Cougar and the Uller. So starting off with the Cougar 7, we've got, I could set it up for whatever its default was, although we don't have any more of the medium lasers. Or I could set up for something completely different, which there would be no reason not to. Alright, so I'll do 2 of these because I think that was the default before. That gives me not a lot of tonnage to work with. We could do one of these for a little bit more long-range punch. And then for close-in punch, we could do a series of small lasers. I don't know why I'm doing a series of small lasers, but hey, that's something we can do. Alternatively, but back off. We only have 1.5 tons after that, huh? Well, we don't need the heat sinks, maybe. And that gives me 3.5 tons. Maybe one of these, and then 2 small lasers. Or a single small laser, and then a heatsink. I mean, it's kind of a hot mech, but maybe better firepower than I had before. All right, well, there we go. There's our setup. This is the funkiest weapon loadout setup, but that's what it's going to be. And then let's switch over to the Uller, which is, I think, Uller 4, which has no weapons either. All right, so looking through this, got an ECM, which I may or may not need. Top speed, I think I'm going to lower that a little bit. Actually, I don't know how much that's going to help me, is it? It gives me 0.7. Is there a point where that's going to give me a round number? Not sure. Well, we can armor it up. Max armor. Then kind of figure out from there what's ideal as far as the speed. I mean, we don't really get any advantage with 11.9 versus 11.15 unless there's a half a ton spent. All right, so with that kind of left over, let's do one of these. And we can fit in another couple long-range weapons. And that might actually be it right there. So heat efficiency's not bad. Armor's not bad. I think this is not a bad setup. And we'll go ahead and save that. This is going to be a support mech. It's going to be in the back, so I don't think having mostly long-range weapons is that big of a deal. So we'll close that on up. And yeah, it looks like we're good to go, I think. So a couple Cougars, an Uller, an Owens, and then we've got my Mad Cat, Hellspawn, Hellhound, and a Chimera. All right. As a matter of fact, the light mechs, I think, have better firepower than that Chimera that is closer up. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do the mission. It's going to be a night mission, as we have no choice, and it didn't mention that in the description. So the description of this is: intelligence recovered from prisoners taken in the last big offensive has revealed possible locations of several enemy bases southwest of the capital. The governor is ordering night strikes against all potential targets, destroy the loyalist holdouts, and end the struggle for control of Eaton. Now, I don't remember if I rebound light amplification, because normally that's the A key, and I'm using WASD to move, so that was overridden. I think I remember I set it up, but we'll find out here pretty soon, because light amplification is pretty important at night, obviously. Or light amplification is the correct term I was looking for. We'll find out here in a second.
SATCOM confirms the base is occupied and defended by a perimeter of turrets. I haven't picked up any patrol activity, but that doesn't mean they're not out there.
Roger, Castle. Nothing showing up on the scope yet. Moving in on the base. Okay, Spectre Lance. When we get on the base, I'll concentrate on taking out the objective buildings. You focus on enemy combat units. Copy?
Of course.
All right, so with light amplification, you lose your zoom, but you get good vision at night. If you turn it off, you get your zoom, but you have no... Now, you can also turn on and off lamp. If I'm not going to be using my light amplification, if I'm going to be using light amplification, I don't really need the lamp on. All right, let's go to, I believe it's Alpha that we're going towards. All right, so we've got a laser turret. I forget that I have no zoom, which is kind of tricky when you have long-range weapons.
Enemy detected. Enemy detected.
We've got a laser turret
Spectre
here.
taking fire
Ow.
from base turrets.
Enemy
Here we go,
detected.
people. Look sharp.
Roger.
Enemy detected.
Okay, so turret.
Demolishers, heads up. They can ruin your day.
Roger. Take them out at range. Those AC-20s can't reach too far.
All right, I'm trying to take out the demolishers. As was described, they have very devastating weapons close in. Ow.
Enemy detected.
But I can't see them right now because of the trees.
Enemy detected.
All right, let's go after the factories. That's the
Enemy
objective.
detected.
Ah, here's a
Enemy
vehicle.
detected.
Okay, took it out. There's a demolisher. It's very close. So I'm gonna have to be careful here. All right, got it. Okay. We do have allied vehicles in this engagement.
Air assets scrambling from nearby airfield. Looks like a squadron of attack choppers.
Airfield? There wasn't anything in the briefing about an airfield.
It must have been camouflaged, sir. SATCOM didn't pick anything up.
Roger.
Target destroyed.
Okay, we've got a Myrmidon behind me somewhere.
Looks like some transport vehicles escaping to the
Enemy
south.
detected.
Engage at your
Warning.
discretion.
Damage
The contract
weapon.
only requires us to take out the base
Target
and its
destroyed.
defenders.
Enemy detected. Target destroyed.
Okay, so
Enemy
transport
detected.
vehicles.
Enemy
I remember this is
detected.
part of the
Enemy
mission. Okay, where's the other one? Around here somewhere. Oh well. It's the green things, I think, on the map, if I remember. Ow, my armor is really screwed here. You guys might be seeing pretty soon what happens if I fail a mission. Alright. Trying to find this vehicle.
Target destroyed. Nav point Alpha reached. Target destroyed.
I knew I was going to whiff that shot because I was moving.
Target destroyed.
All right.
Target destroyed.
Not much in the way of enemies left. Okay, that's down. I took heavy
Castle,
damage.
base defenders are eliminated.
Time to pack 'em up and head out.
Transport vehicles. Fleeing transport vehicles. I don't see where they are. I thought they're the green things, but... Is that it?
Spectre 1, report status.
Aha.
Just taking care of a few loose ends.
Alright, so now all I have to do is level the enemy base. So any of the buildings that are red right now, I just need to blow up. And we're pretty close to doing that. The allied vehicles are taking care of things too. Alright, there's a couple of buildings around. Trying to just get clear shots at them. There we go. Go, another one down.
Base buildings destroyed.
Acknowledged, Spectre 1. Reporting mission success to Separatist Command.
Good work, people. Let's get ready for on-site TAC ops and salvage. There's no telling if the Loyalists have another camouflaged base nearby.
Roger!
TAC ops and salvage en route. ETA 15 minutes. Excellent work, Commander. The Loyalist base has been pacified and a significant stock of weapons and mechs have been captured. We'll soon have the chance to put our new arsenal to work. Not all of the Governor's raids were as successful as ours. Intel anticipates a major counter-offensive by the Loyalists soon.
Alright, so we have some damage. One of our Hellspawn got crippled, and my mech is damaged. So those are two things I have to repair. We did get a fair amount of money for this particular mission. We got our bonus, although we have a lot more expenses now because of our heavier and more, more equipment, more pilots, all that kind of stuff. But we get a fair amount of salvage. A couple medium X pulse lasers. That's going to be fun to play with in the Solaris. And a long Tom. That's interesting. All right. And we also get a few mechs here. So let's go ahead and take a look in the mech lab. We're going to have to repair these two, which is going to cost me more money, unfortunately. And I do want to take a look very quickly at that Hellspawn. Yeah, we did lose some weapon systems there. It looks like we lost one of the medium pulse lasers and one of the SRMs. I believe there were two, and that does make sense for how much tonnage we have missing. But in any case, I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.